Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Dazs. In today's video we have a comprehensive guide on how to play Wraith effectively in Apex Legends. This is going to be a video that starts with the basics, and as the video progresses we'll dive into more advanced techniques and synergy with other legends. For those who don't main Wraith, this video is essential as her pick rate has only become higher in Season 9, and you will need to be armed with information on how to exterminate those pesky Wraiths and counter her. A reason her pick rate has increased is because of low profile being removed from the game. For those who are new, this is where small hitbox legends took additional damage. This was a recent change of Season 9 of Apex Legends and has officially been removed. Prior changes are Wraith's head hitbox becoming much larger and her running animation adjustment. All these changes are made in an effort to balance her. Because of her small hitbox, it is a common misconception that she is a faster legend than Gibraltar, who is a much larger legend with a larger hitbox. Please note, this is not the case, and her movement speed is the same as any other legend. Wraith's animations while she moves makes her appear faster. She does, however, gain a speed boost when she uses her portal and tactical ability, which will break down all of her abilities in just a moment. Before diving into her abilities, let's break down a brief summary of her role. Wraith is the entry fragger, scouter, and honestly should be the first individual that should take the most amount of damage or, in the worst case scenario, go down in a gunfight. This is due to her ability to get out and reposition. Wraith works best with guns that you can utilize in a close range fight, such as a wingman or the infamous R99. This does not mean you cannot run a sniper or a mid or long range weapon, but if your lifeline goes down before you, you have a major problem. Or any other defensive legend. The example here is because Lifeline's toolkit is all about recovery and healing. You are not maximizing on this toolkit if you let your support player go down first. If you do decide to take a distant gunfight, well, there are some tactics that you can utilize and we'll discuss later when pairing with her abilities. One major advice, because Wraith is such a brawler, one major exercise to work on in Aim Lab is Spidershot 180 Ultimate. Finding the right balance on your sensitivity is hard as the movement on Apex Legends requires a ton of 180 movement. You see this a ton, especially with Wraith. This is why she can be categorized as such a movement legend. There's a lot of advanced techniques that you can utilize, such as a wall bounce, zipline super jump, bunny hopping, and of course, a tap strafe. All are really important to finding your perfect sensitivity to manage those close quarter encounters, pairing with accuracy, tracking, and overall movement. This is where Spidershot 180 Ultimate can help you. In this example, I'm showcasing a much lower sensitivity than I'm accustomed to, but you can see how it can help you practice speed and figure out if you're running too low of a sensitivity for a major flick. Here's an in-game example with the same sensitivity of pairing a wall bounce with the flick. Leave a like if you would like to see a guide on any of these advanced movement techniques here on the Aim Lab channel. Now onto her abilities. Let us start with her passive ability, Voices from the Void. Probably the best ability to avoiding a third party. This triggers from being aimed at traps, such as nearby caustic barrels or even enemies who have died nearby. Remember, the biggest thing when you see Wraith is to not ADS and aim at her. If you're camping or looking to avoid a fight or surprise a Wraith, the worst thing you can do is ADS just to look at her. This immediately signals to the player and they will know someone is actively watching them. A lot forget about this passive and it's very surprising, so it's a very helpful tip. Now for her tactical ability, Into the Void. This is probably the most frustrating ability to deal with if you're facing a Wraith, but if you're a Wraith, this ability is going to be your best friend. It is quite literally the best get out of jail free card in the game. It has a 25-second cooldown, and once activated, you avoid all incoming damage. When I say all, I mean all. The biggest downside of this ability is ensuring the timing of it. It takes 1.25 seconds before you're able to go into the void. While this does not sound initially like a ton of time, the amount of damage you take in this time span can easily get you knocked, meaning you need to be smart on its usage, ensuring you're prepping for the incoming damage. An example shown on screen is you can pop your Q at a poor time and then still go down. When you time this ability well, you're going to get away and buy yourself a lot of time to recover with your team. Some other tips that you can utilize if you're stuck with an arc star: you can avoid that damage by going into the void. You can avoid ultimate abilities from Bangalore, Caustic, Gibraltar, or even Fuse. You can avoid damage from things from the world such as lava and world's edge, or even zone damage. Same applies for when you exit the void. You need a little bit of time before you can actually pull out your weapon and engage into the fight. Just remember, you can't interact with most things when you're in the void, such as doors or canisters, but you can interact with zips or zip lines made by Pathfinder to utilize as an escape. This should be paired with your ultimate ability as well to ensure you can place your portal. You'll skip part of the animation and you'll go into the void faster. Remember that enemies can see where you're going and you leave behind a blue trail. The best advice I can give as well is to practice this consistently and realize just your movement speed while in the void. If you are in the test range, you can pull up the main menu, switch between legends, and constantly spam the ability to go into the void. Now, one final bit of advice, do not spam this ability, especially when in a gunfight. The minute someone uses it in a high tier lobby, it screams you are not confident in the fight and are looking to retreat. This gives a clear signal to the opposing team to push you. So utilize this as a last resort, communicate with your squad so they can cover you as you reposition. Now let's pair everything together and discuss her Dimensional Rift. This ability links two locations together for 60 seconds. You pass through at 5 times the speed through Wraith's Rift. When you use your port, it is called Rift Energy. You can drop your port early at any time as long as you utilize at least 4.72% Rift Energy. If you don't use beyond that percentage of Rift Energy, the ultimate ability will be cancelled. This portal can reach a total of 75 meters if you utilize all of your Rift Energy. This also leaves behind a blue trail and you are invulnerable to damage as you pass through. A major tip is if you run out of utility, and I've seen this utilized in a tournament to avoid Gibraltar's ultimate, you can create a short portal to constantly ping back and forth to avoid damage. Now, another major tip you can utilize for Wraith's ultimate ability is to kidnap enemy players. The kidnapping has to be perfectly timed. As you run in with your portal, you need to pop your tactical ability to pair with it and drop the portal on top of the enemy player. If well timed, the enemy player will step into the portal. Of course, they're in for a surprise once they run into the enemy team on the other side of said portal. Now we're going to segue the conversation of synergy between legends, but first, here's an example of utilizing your port when in a tight situation of being stuck between two teams. This could have been utilized sooner to avoid losing teammates, but it can be used to relocate your enemy when in a pinch. This portal did help us succeed in obtaining second place rather than getting the squad wiped much earlier. Some other tips are placing the portal off the edge of the map to bait enemies to their death. You can help rescue down teammates, or you can make a push on a knock if you're using a sniper as a Wraith. So if you got a knock, it could be a call sign to put a port to instantly go for the final blow or kill. Or you can even place the port if you are wanting to engage on a third party. Just in case things go wrong, you have the portal to get out. Because of this, the portal has great synergy with defensive legends. An example is Watson can fence off the end of the portal. You can place caustic barrels from Caustic, smoke from Bangalore, or even utilize grenades from your teammates. For legends that can provide repositioning power, you can pair this with their portal, such as gathering more distance from an Octane jump pad or a zip from Pathfinder once you go through the portal. Having a Gibraltar bubble can provide space for Wraith to make a safe portal. Now some quick tips for fighting as Wraith, as you'll constantly be in the face of your enemy. One scenario that helps is Burstflick Ultimate. This is a great scenario to help build speed. I am currently running a lower sensitivity on screen as an example, but it's a great scenario to build up momentum. Because with the wingman when in the face of an enemy on Apex Legends, movement can be very overwhelming. Now another exercise is Circletrack Ultimate. This is a great scenario for pairing with the R99 or Volt at close range. You need to have a stable track across the board when pairing your Apex movement techniques. You need to be able to control and have consistent aim. Now for a tight spectrum of aim, especially when in a 1v1, you can utilize Strafetrack Precision. This is great for practicing the precise movement needed for hitting a target strafing in front of you. The biggest thing is realizing, no matter the sensitivity, just how small the adjustments feel, and also how to incorporate your own movement into the strafe for a strong 1v1 fight, which is the scenario you're going to constantly be in when playing Wraith. This will simulate when practicing a 1v1 on Apex Legends when you're getting prepped and iron out those weak spots. Alright, so what we covered today is a comprehensive guide to Wraith. We discussed her role, broke down her abilities, synergy with other legends, and some additional exercises to really maximize on her overall potential. And also now, because you know of restraints, you are more knowledgeable to counter her in Apex Legends. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, to leave a like, subscribe here on the official AimLab channel, and check out the description for everything AimLab, where you can have a library of resources at your fingertips. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.